Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to move past just asking simple questions and really learn how to master our conversations with AI. We're going to see how to structure our instructions, to get those really powerful, super precise results we're all looking for.
So, we'll kick things off by looking at a super common problem, vague prompts. Then, we'll build up our skills with some foundational techniques, and then move on to the really powerful stuff, like guiding the AI's actual thinking and refining its output. We'll even learn how to dial in the AI's creativity, and we'll wrap it all up with a summary of your awesome new toolkit.
All right, so first up, why is it that our simple, direct prompts sometimes just completely fall flat? Let's dig in.
You've probably been there, right? You ask the AI for something and what you get back is, well, it's technically correct, but it's completely useless for what you actually needed. It's a super common frustration, for sure.
Okay, so this prompt, it's a perfect example. Just saying, generate 10 questions on geography leaves way too much up to chance. I mean, how is the AI supposed to know if you want questions about countries, or rivers, or capitals, or what if you needed multiple choice questions? This really just hammers home why we have to be more precise if we want to get the results we're actually looking for.
Okay, let's get into our first set of tools. We're going to see how these can build a much better foundation for pretty much every prompt we write from here on out. So this first one, zero-shot prompting, is probably what you're already doing most of the time. It's basically just a direct question, right? No extra help, no context. It's relying 100% on what the AI already has in its training data.
Okay, now this is where things get interesting. We start to guide the AI by showing it what we want, not just telling it. It's called few-shot prompting. So, for example, instead of just saying, hey, write a sonnet, you'd first give it a couple of examples of actual Shakespearean sonnets. That gives the model a really clear blueprint to follow. It's a total game changer.
All right, hold on, because this is where things get really powerful. We're about to learn how to influence the AI's actual reasoning process, not just its final answer. This is next-level stuff.
So this technique is called chain of thought prompting. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like showing your work in a math problem. Instead of just demanding the final answer, you're actually teaching the AI the method, the step-by-step process to find that answer on its own.
So, check this out. Without any guidance, the AI just completely whiffs on this simple logic puzzle. It spits out 5, but the right answer is 1. It fails because it's not really understanding the sequence of events, the step-by-step logic.
But watch what happens when we use chain of thought. First, we give it a similar problem, but this time, we lay out the step-by-step calculation. Then we ask our original question again, and boom, it nails it. It gets the correct answer. So the really crucial takeaway here is that we've taught it the how, not just the what, and that makes all the difference.
Okay, here's another awesome tool for those really complex tasks. It's called least to most prompting. The idea is, instead of asking for one giant solution all at once, you get the AI to break the problem down into a series of smaller, much more manageable steps to solve in order.
Take something like perform data science. That's a huge kind of overwhelming request, right? But if you prompt it with something like, how do I perform data science in 5 steps? You're forcing the AI to structure its thinking. And what you get back is a logical, actionable workflow that's way more useful.
Okay, let's be honest. The AI's first answer isn't always perfect, right? Far from it sometimes. So now we're going to look at 2 really cool techniques for basically collaborating with the AI to help it refine and improve its own work. First up is the self-refine technique. And this, well, it pretty much turns the AI into its own editor. You get that first draft, and then you just follow up with a simple prompt asking it to critique and improve on what it just gave you. It's amazing.
So here's a chunk of Python code the AI generated. It's, a decent start. But if you look closely, it has a common import error, and it's missing the main function it needs to actually run.
But watch this. With just one simple follow-up prompt, suggest 3 improvements to the above code, the AI actually identifies its own flaws. It corrects the error, it adds that missing function, and it even cleans up the formatting. The end result is a much better, pretty much production-ready piece of code. Now, a related technique is something called maieutic prompting. The best way to think of this is like you're cross-examining the AI in a courtroom. You ask it to explain and justify different parts of its answer, which forces it to double-check itself for any inconsistencies. This almost always leads to a more accurate and solid response.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about creativity. Because sometimes you want a straightforward, factual, predictable answer.
But other times, you want something completely wild and imaginative. Let's figure out how to get control of that. Well, we do this with a parameter called temperature. It's just a simple setting, usually a number between 0 and 1, but don't let that fool you. It's one of the most powerful tools you have. Think of it as a creativity dial for the AI.
So as you can see here, a really low temperature, like 0.1, is going to give you focused, predictable, deterministic results. This is absolutely perfect for things like writing code or pulling out facts from a document. But if you crank that temperature up to, say, 0.9, you just unleash its creativity. It's fantastic for brainstorming new ideas, coming up with marketing slogans, or even writing a poem.
Wow, okay, we have covered a ton of ground here. So let's take a quick moment to summarize all these powerful new techniques and put together your new go-to prompt engineering toolkit.
So if you want to write a great prompt every single time, you've got to remember these fundamentals. Always be specific about the context. Clearly define what you want and how you want it formatted. And believe it or not, correct spelling actually makes a difference and leads to better responses. These basic practices are really the foundation for everything else we've talked about today.
With all these techniques in your back pocket, you're no longer just asking simple questions. You're actually directing a powerful reasoning tool. You can now teach it, you can refine its work, and you can steer its creativity. The possibilities are just absolutely vast. Thanks for watching.